If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records.
My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history. My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family. There's no family.
There's no family like my family.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations. With 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future, T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Lowell Park is tonight's location for Barnstable Battle Royale. The Cape's two best teams square off in the biggest game of the season that could potentially set up a grandstand finish to the end of the season in the West Division. All to play for as normal in the Battle of Barnstable. But you can add that word Royale because this could have some implication to the end of the season. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining along with us here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network alongside Jacob Irons, Mickey Doolittle. My name is Michael Kirsting. And, fellas, Battle of Barnstable is big enough, but with these implications on the line, it doesn't get any bigger than this in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Yeah, this is about as big of a game as you could have right now between two teams that are vying for the top spot right now in this league, because ultimately the West is pacing out the East right now. So this is who can take control of number one. Power rankings come out, Hyannis stands atop, but it's now up to go against their Achilles heel, who has been the Cotuit Kettleers all year long, and might as well face them when you have an opportunity right like tonight to try and go pick up some ground and be, like we've said, a game and a half back if you want to use the game point, 3 points if you want to use the point system here on Cape Cod. This game's got a lot of implications. Both teams know it, both managers taking the time, but with their teams pregame to sit them down and talk to them, understanding that there's a lot more to play for here than what just beats the eye.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, Jacob. You know, forget the West. These are the top two teams in the league right now, and these two teams have proven it time and time again, beating everybody in the East, beating everybody in the West. So Hyannis and Cotuit, definitely the top two teams. They happen to be the equivalent, the Cape Cod League equivalent of Ohio State, Michigan, Giants, Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox, you name it. And these two teams come in on maybe opposite trajectories. Hyannis has won 13 of their last 16. Cotuit, yes, they've won 4 of 6, but last night they got steamrolled.
And this is exactly the team that you want to face, coming off of a 27-2 loss against Falmouth last night, here at Lowell Park, no less. This is a Hyannis team that is 9-1-1 since they last played Cotuit. Cotuit 8-4-1 since the last meeting. That's pretty good for Cotuit. 8-4-1 is pretty decent, but 9-1-1, having lost just one of their last 11 since last playing Cotuit. That's going to catch you up in the standings.
It's going to, and what scares me, though, tonight, if you want to be a Hyannis fan, is Cotuit's coming off of a tremendous loss, and we've seen, when you look back at some of their bigger losses this year, they have come back and punched just as hard as the team that punched them last night. They come back firing against the team they see tonight, and for them, they are going to come out with a vengeance after last night and then add on to, like we talked about, the stakes of this game. This game is going to get to a boiling point here early, and the pressure's on. These two teams are sitting on high in a pressure cooker. It's just going to be whether or not the slow rib is going to be cooked fully in time for first pitch.
Yeah, and Hyannis coming off that great walk-off win last night. Bennett Thompson, the new catcher, coming through clutch in the ninth to walk it off for Hyannis, a team that's come in red hot. Their offense has been clicking on all cylinders. Their pitching maybe a little bit more shaky, adjusting to a new pitching staff, but man, they can shove when they need to.
In both of them, you look at the batting average, that is the best right now in the month of July in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Hyannis possesses at a .319 batting average currently. They are really strong. Their pitching is right there, pacing the top of the league in the top 3 right now in ERA in the month of July. There's a lot to play for right now, and they're firing, and we've talked about it. You're playing your best baseball at the right time. That's what matters, and that's what they have right now.
Yeah, good pitching plus good hitting equals wins here at all on the Cape and at all levels of baseball. And let's talk about Darren Horn starting tonight for Hyannis. You might think that despite Horn, he's coming on a few days rest, just a few days of rest, short rest for Darren Horn, maybe a bullpen game because you don't want these guys. We talk about how important it is the third time through that order, even the second time through that order against a lethal Cotuit lineup. You might not want these guys to be seen as much as in normal games because of the stakes here tonight.
Yeah, once again, we talk about Horns on a couple days rest, but once again, he's been really stellar, especially with the breaking balls he's possessed so far this year. He's dominant pitching, but once again, like you said, especially with this being towards the end of the season, don't be afraid that if you want to go make a move, you have the ability to go make a move and call to the bullpen and use guys for a couple innings at a time. You don't need to have them try and play the Jenga effect of got to try and see how far you can stretch him out and how far is too far. But right now, after Madden with Darren Horn getting the start tonight, they're going to be calling and pointing to the arms a couple more times than they would like.
And the off day a couple of days ago helps them a lot. Hyannis, they did go through a lot of their bullpen last night, but not all of it. They're going to have a lot of fresh arms that they can use tonight, and rest assured that they'll probably use a lot of them.
And coming off the fact that you said that they're the Achilles heel, Jacob, they've come here and just Cotuit has really beaten up on Hyannis. So you think that adds a little bit of extra fuel to the fire to kind of get some vengeance back?
I think it does, and especially we talk about this is the last time these two teams are seeing them in the regular season. This is your last time to put maybe that exclamation mark. It doesn't matter what happened in the first 5 games. It really doesn't. It matters what happens tonight and the momentum that you're able to build off for tonight going into the postseason, which is only a couple days away. So whatever happened, close that book. They might have all 3 or 4 of their wins. Hyannis has 1 in their pocket on really fashion, but those don't matter anymore. It matters what happens tonight and for the foreseeable future with the playoffs.
And Cotuit hasn't seen this iteration of this Hyannis team. They haven't seen them on this incredible torrid tear that they're on right now. Again, 13 of their last 16 games have been wins. Hyannis coming in red hot, perhaps bringing a little bit of that momentum into this game.
And you talked about how tonight is the only night that matters. I was talking to Coach B.J. Johnson, and this is exactly the mentality that this team expresses, is the 1-0 mentality. They win last night, a tough one, a really, really good quality win against Wareham, but they just have to bounce on forward, use that momentum, but don't think about last night. Last night is last night, and today there's a really important game in hand. I think that speaks massively to the mentality of this team, just keeping on moving forward.
The sun set and rose, and now it's a different day, so you really have to just focus on what is playing in front of you today. And also, we talk about it, weather's going to play an implication tonight as well, so you got to get to 5. The fight will be to the 5th inning once you're able to complete this game, because we don't know with how severe thunderstorms are starting to roll in and how really you can't even predict what's going to happen here, so weather's going to be big.
Yeah, and as the managers retreat to their dugouts after meeting with the umpires for the ground rules, we send it to the 4th member of our team, Bria Losick.
From Lowell Park, I'm Bria Losick alongside Nick Mitchell, who is soon to be an Indiana Hoosier. And there's a couple of those guys on this Cotuit roster that you're playing against today. What's that going to be like playing them, and how excited are you to get up to Bloomington?
Yeah, it's cool playing against them. So, future teammates, it's good to compete. I know we're gonna compete in the fall too, so that's cool. But I'm super excited to go to get on campus and get to work over there.
Well, you've been getting to work up here especially. You were selected as an all-star and just have been here pretty much the whole summer, and definitely been a standout. What's your favorite memory been so far on Cape?
Probably just hanging out with all the guys, even just in the dugout or post-game meals. It's just fun to bond with everybody and get to know and get close with everyone in a short amount of time.
You mentioned the dugout. Last night, I'm sure it was going crazy during the walk-off and the comeback and everything. What was that like being a part of it?
Yeah, it was awesome. Everybody was hype, and I don't think anybody had a doubt that we were going to win that game, though, so it was super fun.
All right, thank you so much, Nick.
Yeah.
Back to you guys in the booth. Sitting down with the GM of the Harbor Hawks, Nick Johnson here. We're ready to rock here at Lowell Park.
That's one word. Oh, yeah, that's one word. I've been up since 5:15. I went to bed at 2 last night. That borderline's on obsession and a sickness, and I fully understand that. But when you spend a full year preparing for this game, and once again, when you do this dramatic come from behind, and tonight is somewhat the pinnacle, I would say the pinnacle of the season up to this juncture. If you're not bought all in, if you don't have chills, if you're not ready to run through a wall, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
What just makes this rivalry so special throughout the years?
I think it's a tale of two cities. It's when I interned here for 4 years, it was kind of like the way it was marketed to me. It was like blue collar, white collar, different sides of the tracks, right? And I'm not saying that's something they push or whatever, but this is the team with the most championships. This is the team that does everything right. And for me, when I took the job, it was a model. It's like when someone's doing something so well for so long, you look at them and you put them up and say, how do we become them? And then how do we get better than them? So for me, that's...
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
A brilliant idea starts at the source. Through innovative design, we're taking steps to create a better future. Now, the pure fresh taste of Dasani comes in a redesigned bottle, up to 30% made from plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor. It's a sign that this is a business you can trust. Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
Here at Lowell Park, just before game time, just about ready to get underway in this installment of the Battle of Barnstable from Lowell Park. As Cotuit just about ready to take the field, and while the first pitches are being thrown, Mickey Doolittle will walk through the Hyannis lineup that will try to bring the team just within 1 point of Cotuit.
Yeah, one of the biggest games of the year. This is how Coach Eric Beatty is deploying his guys today. First, it's the Oklahoma State product, Zach Earhart. You know his brother Drew from last year. He was on the coaching staff earlier this year, now into the major leagues and the minor leagues. Zach Earhart, his brother, will start leading it off today. One of the greatest bunters we've seen come through Hyannis in a long time. He plays right field. Nick Mitchell plays center and hits second. Cam Smith out of Florida State. He carries a 20-game hitting streak into this one in a 30-game on-base streak. In that time, he's hit .440 in those last 20 games with 4 home runs. He plays third base and hits third. Zach York, a revelation for this Hyannis team out of Grand Canyon, plays first and hits cleanup. Brandon Ike out of VCU plays third base and hits fifth. Trey Lipsy out of Ohio State moving up in the lineup a little bit, hitting sixth now and playing left field. Brody Donay hits seventh, playing catcher out of Florida. Back in the lineup, a lot of power. You might be able to see some home runs and some fireworks from him tonight. John Gazdar once again playing shortstop out of Austin P. And then Elijah Hainline, the second baseman out of Washington State, rounds out that Hyannis lineup that is going to face Jake Gigliotti.
Yeah, Gigliotti had last appeared in the All-Star game all the way back a week ago on July 22nd. Went 2/3 of an inning scoreless. Walked and struck out a batter. Before that, he featured and gave up 5 runs in just 2 innings of work in the 14-3 loss to Bourne. This will be the first time Hyannis sees him all year. Yeah, he's going to come through with a sinker, a heavy slider that he's going to use a lot, and then a changeup. So definitely a nasty pitcher, bringing in a 4.98 ERA. His delivery is a bit sidearm. He kind of stays straight up. He uses all of his frame at 6'1", the senior out of Northeastern.
And what Gigliotti is, the biggest thing about Gigliotti is he has blow-up outings. That's his big thing. He does normally very conservative, but if you can get to him, normally it's a rain it pours situation.
Gigliotti toes the slab. He is ready. Digging into the righty batter box is Earhart, and he is ready. As it's the Kettleers and it's the Hawks, and it is live. The Battle of Barnstable Royale from Lowell Park is underway. The first pitch taken up and in from Zach Earhart. Quickly delivering the 1-0 is Gigliotti. 2-0 the count now as it goes outside.
Yeah, working quickly here.
The 2-0. Up and in. 3 pitches, 3 balls for Gigliotti so far. Perhaps the pace being knowing that there could be some weather in on the way.
Gigliotti played for the North Shore Navigators last year. The same issue.
Inside, 4 pitches and 4 balls. A 4-pitch walk for number 4 as he gets this game started off with a leadoff walk.
Let's take you through the Cotuit defensive alignment, how they stack up behind Gigliotti. Be Wills, Younger, McCoy. Left to right in the outfield, now left to right in the infield. Keys, Haskins, Harlan, Tobias, and the battery partner of Gigliotti will be Johnson today for the Kettleers.
Immediately a runner on, and he's immediately checked back, is Zach Earhart by Gigliotti, with Nick Mitchell standing up at the dish.
Mitchell comes in hitting .271, the home run and 8 RBIs on the season.
Check back again at first.
Don't be shocked to see an aggressive nature, especially early with Zach Earhart. Still perfect on stolen base attempts.
How about one more time? So still no pitch thrown to Mitchell just yet. They keep checking on Earhart at first.
Mitchell 0 for 4 last night, but really contributed. 2 runs batted in and also 2 runs scored.
First pitch way upstairs. 5 pitches, 5 balls to open this game up for Jake Gigliotti.
Yeah, 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball that couldn't find itself back into the zone.
1-0, there's the first strike of the day for Gigliotti, greeted to some ironic applause by the Hyannis fan base to our right.
Yeah, good sinker there. Again, coming in with a bit of a sidearm delivery, maybe lower 3/4 more of.
Back at first again is Earhart.
Earhart doesn't seem to be showing any signs of going. He's back standing every single attempt. He's going to tie his shoe here. Maybe refocus a little bit, and now a 1-1.
Runner on first is Earhart, just the second batter of the game in Nick Mitchell. Here's the 1-1. It's upstairs. He always seems to be hanging his arm, does Gigliotti, after he throws the pitch in a bit of a way to say that his body language is conveying that he's not happy with himself. And it'll be a 2-1 to Mitchell. Significantly slowing the pace now is Gigliotti. As here's the 2-1. It's fouled away. First swing of the day goes over the screen.
That didn't sound good.
No, it did not.
Might have been a windshield. Of course, you got the parking lot right behind the concession stand and the press box here at Lowell Park.
2-2 the count on Mitchell, the center fielder today. He's a left-handed hitter. Gigliotti sets and deals. Chopped foul outside of first. Earhart heads back to first.
Great defensive swing there by Mitchell. Pitch that came back inside on him. It's on a borderline on the outer part of the zone that does a good job to fight off and keep his at-bat alive.
Long sets continue from Gigliotti. Here's the 2-2. Was a good pitch. It broke inside. Would have been a nasty one if he swung, but inside with the slider counts full.
81 degrees at first pitch. That wind, though, is blowing directly out to center field. So hitters are going to have a little bit of an advantage with fly balls.
The full count pitch is ripped into right field for a base hit. Earhart was going on the play, so he goes to third. So a base hit for Nick Mitchell. Running on the play was Earhart. So he goes from second to third. Runners on the corners, nobody out for Cam Smith. Hawks in business already in the top of the first.
A great decision there by Earhart to get a great jump. Was reading Gigliotti well. There was a reason why Gigliotti was so focused on the Cowboy at first base. Gets a great jump for an attempted stolen base, and Mitchell's able to get it in play on the full count. Takes it, drops it right in, and now runners on the corners to force a couple more pressures behind Gigliotti.
This is the guy that you want at the plate.
First pitch to Smith is low and away. You're going to be seeing Gigliotti pitch around him quite a bit. He's at an even 500, 22 for 44 in his last 10 games, to go along with 12 runs scored. 1-0 is a soft fly ball to the infield. Calling everyone off is Tobias, and he makes the play. Still just only one out, though, as Smith pops out to first.
Yeah, just a little bit out front on a slider away, and got under it, popped it up. Probably not happy with that swing. Not much that he could have done with that, but again, only one out. Zach York, a more than capable hitter that's come through in a lot of clutch situations this year, coming to the plate.
So after a blistering start, York has somewhat returned to earth, but that says a lot for him as the first pitch taken low and away. Hitting .243 in his last 9 games. That's good for any normal hitter. Zach York, no normal hitter, though. Here's the 1-0. It's on the ground to second. This could be 2. There's 1. On to first. It's a double play. And Hyannis with the runners on the corners and nobody out can't scratch 1 across thanks to the 4-6-3 double play. We're through a half. Hyannis nothing. The Cotuit Kettleers coming back.
A brilliant idea starts at the source. Through innovative design, we're taking steps to create a better future. Now, the pure fresh taste of Dasani comes in a redesigned bottle, up to 30% made from plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor. It's a sign that this is a business you can trust. Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
Hyannis had their chance, but could not scratch a run across in the top of the first. They hand the ball over to Darren Horn, who will face this order that the Cotuit Kettleers field out.
This is how the Kettleers stack up. Brock Wills leading things off in the left fielder today for the Kettleers. Cole Mathis, the two-way player, a man that is 7th currently in the Cape Cod Baseball League with a .321 batting average. Then behind him, Sean Keys, the third baseman, a new addition to the team as well. Trevor Haskins, the shortstop's in the cleanup role. Jacob Tobias, who saw pitching action yesterday, the 27-2 blowout for the Kettleers, came on to the bump. He's at first base today and is in the 5-hole. James McCoy, the right fielder, follows behind him. Dylan Johnson, the catcher. And then Trotter Harlan at second base. Rounding things out for the Kettleers will be Trey Younger, the center fielder today for Cotuit.
Now, if many of those names don't sound familiar, you're not too hard-pressed in thinking that, because Mathis and McCoy are the only two that are still in the lineup that are still being fielded by Cotuit since from the last game on July 11th. There's been a lot of turnover in this team with the draft and even with the All-Star break, as well as schools come calling, as Brock Willis will dig into the lefty batter's box.
And they just lost manpower as well. So you lose a couple players, and they haven't been able to re-pick up players necessarily.
First pitch from Darren Horn, outside 1-0.
Horn's going to come in with a 4.59 ERA, mostly a fastball slider guy.
On the ground to second, Hainline fields and throws a quick one out for Darren Horn as Willis grounds out to second.
He'll mix in the occasional curveball and changeup, but mainly features those two pitches. And immediately going right after Cotuit, and this is how the Hyannis lineup defensively. Lipsy, Mitchell, Earhart outfield left to right. Now infield left to right, Smith, Gazdar, Hainline, and York, and then Brody Donay back behind the plate, putting down the signs.
Put a slider sign down there, but it's bounced just behind the plate in the dirt, 1-0.
Excuse me, Brandon Ike at third base. We are so used to Cam Smith at the hot corner.
There's a strike. Nice tight slider from Darren Horn.
Smith, of course, still in the lineup today, but designated hitter is his role.
It'll be a 1-1 from Horn. He deals. It's on the ground to Ike. He fields, throws across the diamond, and just about holding on to the first base bag is York. Two quick ground ball outs for Darren Horn as he gets Mathis to ground to third.
Yeah, good aggressive pitching here from Horn, just going right after these Cotuit hitters. Got him with an off-speed pitch, got him to roll over, and now has to face Keys.
The first pitch is inside and bounces all the way in front of the Hyannis fans to the first base side.
Keys 11 for 20 on the season, batting a crisp .550 with 2 home runs, 12 RBIs.
Swing and a miss. That ball went about 57 feet, and he still absolutely was fooled by it. So it'll be a 1-1 count coming from Horn to Keys. He deals outside, 2-1 the count. Quick pace Horn works with as a 2-1 catches the outside corner count even at 2.
You can tell he's in his rhythm when he starts to pick up that pace, 88 miles an hour on the fastball.
The 2-2 just inside, and the count runs full.
Good pitch.
Yeah.
2-2, dropped it just below the zone. Off speed, dove out. Good 2-strike offering.
The payoff is chopped to first. Right there is York, but he lost it, and he booted it as it hit the lip right in front of him. He lost his glove, and that allows Keys to reach on the E3.
Yeah, tough play there. Just we talk about with Darren Horn how much spin his balls have, and off the bat they're continuing to have a little bit of spin. That one catching up and kicking his glove off his York hand, and it trickles right through. Great backup, though, by Hainline to allow that thing to be eaten up by the second baseman, providing some protection behind him.
First pitch dealt low to Trevor Haskins, the shortstop. Now, this is a team in Cotuit, both Hyannis and Cotuit, you can't give them extra chances. So this is an extra chance here for Cotuit as the 1-0 is chopped weakly to third, but just outside third as Ike lets a trickle foul.
For Horn here, still have 2 outs. You don't need to be pressed all that much with a runner on. Able to work through, see their cleanup guy with 2 outs.
Nice tight slider again, but it missed outside. 2-1 the count on Haskins.
Yeah, 50-50 ball right there on the outer third of the plate. Slider running away from the righty.
Haskins hitting .357 in 7 games. There's a strike on the inside corner with the cheese again. Now 2-2.
And we talk about Darren Horn's spin rate. You can see the ball from our vantage point and the motion it has because it is moving so quickly as soon as it's out of his hand.
2-2 tipped just foul into the screen, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, it just snaps. It's got such tight movement.
And then you look at rotations per minute, it's over 3,400 now on that last pitch, just showing you how much spin rate is on this.
2-2 on the ground to first. This one York's got. It was a hot shot, and he was ready for it. He steps on the bag and puts away Haskins to end the inning. A good bounce-back inning after Hyannis can't respond. They shut down Cotuit. We're through 1 here in the Battle of Barnstable. No score from Lowell Park.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevators. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen.
Hell, Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you in a club with?
All about it. Hell, Mama. Inning number 2 from Lowell Park. No score so far. Hyannis had a chance in their last inning, but thanks to a slick fielding double play turned by Harlan, Haskins, and Tobias, Zach York ended an inning. They could not score anything. They go into the top of the second now.
Yeah, 28th double play of the year for the Kettleers. This is a slick fielding team. Towards the beginning of the year, we saw them play a certain way. They had power, they had speed, they had defense, they had everything you wanted out of position players. Now that speed is kind of tapered off a little bit. It puts more pressure on their defense, and it puts more pressure on their power hitters to produce, and they have stepped up to the challenge. And that's a big reason why they're still first in the West.
First pitch to Brandon Ike is outside. It'll be Ike, Lipsy, and Donay, 5, 6, and 7 in the Hawks order. As here's the 1-0. Dunks in for strike 1. You could almost say that bit of heavy metal baseball has almost transferred over to Hyannis and all that, because everything that Cotuit was before, they are now. 1-1 is a good slider outside, 1-2 the count.
Great pitch by Gigliotti, just down and away from Ike. That, once again, great left-to-right movement.
1-2, lively fastball missed outside.
Yeah, that fastball is sinking action, arm side run.
2-2 waved at and missed. Ike down swinging.
Ike out in front of the 76-mile-an-hour pitch. Just couldn't reach out far enough as well. Pitch off the plate on the outer part of the zone. But now against lefties, that's how you want to see how Gigliotti attacks Trey Lepsy, who had maybe the strongest BP of his season.
Taken on the outside corner, 0-1 to the Buckeye.
Trey Lipsy likened this rivalry to Michigan-Ohio State to me before the game.
The 0-1 outside.
Only recently he's really realized the importance of it to these two communities, as many of these players have. They are not from the Cape.
1-1 is a line drive right at Haskins, and there are 2 away.
Great piece of hitting, hard hit ball by Trey Lipsy. Just Haskins' quick athleticism jumping out of his position to reach out for on his backhand side to get the second out.
Yeah, I love that how these players, the first pitch to Brody is popped up. Foul ground, drifts back into fair territory, and it's popped and put away by Tobias. A quick inning for Gigliotti. 1, 2, 3 go the Hawks. Through 1.5, still no score.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Jake Gigliotti comes with a nice bounce back inning after allowing 2 runners on in the first. He goes a quick 1, 2, 3 in the second, and now it's time for Darren Horn to rebuttal here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, Horn had a good top of the first. No hard contact at all. Good job by York after committing the error against Keys. He comes back immediately in the next play, has a tricky hop that he fields directly into his chest, able to go step on first, redeem himself, and help out his pitcher a little bit. And this is a defense that's really stepped up in recent weeks. Now have their defensive rating up, tied for 7th in the league after sitting 9th or 10th for the majority of the year. They've started to figure it out as they've had more and more guys come in later on in the season.
Yeah, how big is that for York, too? Just a nice bounce-back play to get his confidence back up immediately after booting that ball that allowed Keys to reach. It'll be Tobias, McCoy, and Johnson. 5, 6, and 7 in the order. As the first pitch is on the ground to York again, he fields the hop this time, got the hop and was ready for it, and he puts away the first out of the bottom of inning number 2.
Yeah, good job immediately by Horn coming out and attacking. And Cotuit having their usual home white uniforms with pinstripes. Dark red lettering with black trim.
On the ground to second, Hainline fields and fires. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Darren Horn.
That's what we talked about, especially with on shorter days rest for Darren Horn. If you can work the 2 E's, effective and efficiency,
yep,
you will be really putting yourself in a solid situation today to try and go beyond what we talk about, those 3 innings as a starting pitcher you look for.
First pitch, a dead red light for Dylan Johnson, 0-1 the count.
And then Hyannis wearing their orange uniforms that they debuted just a couple of weeks ago with white lettering and blue trim.
0-1 outside to Dylan Johnson, the catcher.
And that's what Nick Johnson, the general manager, said he felt was that turning point in that pivotal move.
Pitch low, 2-1 the count.
He thought that these orange jerseys were what sparked this resurgence here in the month of July. Talk about the league best at
2-1 catches the inside corner, count even at 2 now.
Best 16-5 in the month of July as well. Not just looking beyond the last 10.
Swing and a miss. What a dominant inning for Darren Horn. Finishes it off with a disgusting off-speed pitch to set down Dylan Johnson swinging. We're through 2. There is no score here from Lowell Park between Hyannis and Cotuit.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about? Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
Let's go to the third. It'll be Gazdar, Hainline, and Earhart, 8-9-1 in the Hawks order against Jake Gigliotti, who worked a nice dominant 1-2-3 inning. Last inning, Darren Horn came back, said, if you could do it, I could do it better. Got 2 pitches and delivered 2 outs, and then a really nice at-bat to set down Dylan Johnson. So it's been all the pitching so far after the first inning where Hyannis got 2 on and couldn't score.
Once again, we talk about this is going to be a tic-tac-toe game here about where does everyone want to play. It's going to be strategy, if you have it, between the two teams. It's who's going to open themselves up for the first error, and will the other team take advantage of it?
John Gazdar starts things off. And he slaps one out to right center. Backing up and leaping and not making the play is McCoy. And it goes over the wall. It's a ground rule double on the first pitch of the at-bat as John Gazdar gets the Hawks in business with a runner on immediately.
Great piece of hitting by John Gazdar. We talk about the wind playing a factor here today. It's going directly to center field, so it's pushing out from behind home plate over. Yan McCoy, who's been a steady presence in the outfield, misread it there as it just kept traveling in right field and bouncing directly over the high fence here.
So Gazdar is off second. First pitch to Elijah Hainline taken for strike 1.
It reminds you a little bit of the conditions last night that were blowing straight out. Outfielders were having some issues with it, dealing with the wind, carrying balls a little bit further than what they would have expected.
Hainline shows bunt and fouls it into the screen. Keys was ready for it. As Mickey was alluding to, the wind playing a real factor in Grant Hussey's grand slam. Ball seemed to just hang up in the air, but got caught in that jet stream and pushed out to right field, thinking that's what happened there to McCoy on the fly ball from Gazdar. Looked to be settled under it, but then immediately leaped up after he realized he may not have had a play. As here is the 0-2 to Hainline. It's a chopper to third. Gazdar freezes as the throw onto first from Keys is in time. Gazdar does not advance as Hainline chops to third.
Keys were playing a little in after, saw Hainline square around on the bunt there for a quick second. A high chopper that, because Keys is playing so in on it, can get to it quickly to allow for a solid throw over.
The ground rule double from Gazdar has him stood on second. First pitch to leadoff hitter Zach Earhart awaits. And it's taken at the knees for strike 1 to the discontent of the Hyannis contingent.
75-mile-an-hour breaking ball that just drops in on the lower part in the middle of the zone.
It'll be an 0-1 to Earhart as the lineup turns over back to him. Here's the 0-1 from Gigliotti. Outside, 1-1 the count.
The sun has made an appearance here, peeking its head out of the clouds.
Here's the 1-1 to Earhart. Outside, now 2-1.
And now just showering this field in sunlight before probably inevitably going under another cloud. Storms are expected later in the night, though they keep being moved back.
That's why this game was moved up from its initial start time. As here's the 2-1 outside to Earhart. That's something of Zach's that's gotten a lot better as the season has progressed, his plate discipline and choosing exactly when to attack that pitch.
Once again, we talk about the adaptation developing, and he's been a batter that is That's why you come to Cape Cod, is to develop, and that's exactly what he's done this year, especially in the box, making him such a really high-level player.
3-1. He's ripped it, but foul. He was all over it. The slider from Gigliotti, but just out in front of it. And the count is now full. Gigliotti breathes a sigh of relief.
And that's the placement you want right now. There's a very large pasture of grass between the left field foul line and the left fielder and Wills, that if it can be a hard rocket or line drive that's down into the corner over there, it could sing, especially with Gazdar's speed in.
That's a fly ball to center field. Barely having to move even a step is Younger to put Earhart away. So hard contact from Zach, but he flies it straight to the center fielder Younger, and there are 2 away.
Yeah, right down the middle of the plate, 85 miles an hour off the bat. Might have just missed a stitch of it, but still good contact. Now it's going to be up to Nick Mitchell to try and get Gazdar in from second.
Mitchell sent one right back up the middle in the top of the first. Should he do it again, Gazdar may score as he's tipped it foul at the plate. And to the on-deck circle it goes. Cam Smith awaits on deck as we have no score here in the top of the third from Lowell Park between Cotuit and Hyannis. Biggest battle of Barnstable, biggest game on Cape Cod all season long. As here's the 0-1 to Mitchell. It's a high fly ball to left. In comes Wills, now backs up, still going, but in the end does make the play despite the swirling wind. So the ground rule double from Gazdar goes wasted. We're through 3 here at Lowell Park. No score.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own. You turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Let's go to the bottom of the third. We're not, in fact, through 3. We're through 2.5. Beg your pardon for the misinformation coming from me. We're into the bottom of the third as Darren Horn comes back out. We were talking about maybe seeing a bit of bullpen action. Not the way Horn is throwing. He's bounced back from his last start against Falmouth, where he gave up a few runs early in the contest and only went 2 innings, and he's putting on a show so far.
Yeah, against a really good offense at that. Cotuit right now ranking first in the league in OPS at 791, second in the league in batting average.
Only behind those Hyannis Harbor Hawks as Trotter Harlan takes the first pitch at the knees for strike 1.
That's what makes this game so special, is the offensive firepower on both sides.
And
yet it's been the pitching that has showed all out as the 0-1 missed low.
And you know who's second in OPS right behind Cotuit? It's Hyannis.
As it's a slow ground ball to second, Hainline fields and throws in one motion. Nice clean work from Elijah Hainline at second to retire Harlan. Now, so far, only one play in the strikeout to Dylan Johnson has not involved Zach York. It's been 1, 2, 3 ground ball putouts, and then two more outs have been made unassisted by York himself as the first pitch to Younger is low, and then the error at first as well. So Zach York has been seeing a lot of the ball so far. The 1-0 is low.
Went to the slider.
And so far,
in there, strike 1. Now 2-1 the count on Younger.
And so far, when you look at these two teams, it is just dominant teams.
Outside 3-1 now. Trotter Harlan retired on the ground ball. Now the center fielder, Trey Younger, grounds one to third and just outside of third, foul, and the count runs full. Both pitchers working with really good speed and rhythm so far through this game.
Whoa. Let's knock
Come on now.
Come on. We don't need to say anything.
I want as much baseball as possible as the full count pitch is on the ground to Ike, who takes a step back and fires across just in time to get a speedy Younger busting it down the first base line for the second out.
Michael, do you see lights here?
I don't see lights here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There is a stopping point on this game no matter whether we're done playing or not.
But I think regardless of this, I think it is notable enough from each pitcher how, like, you don't see that this pace most of the time as the first pitch to Wills zips in for a strike.
That is fair. That is fair. I'll let that one breathe a little bit.
As here's the 0-1, chopped foul outside of first. Why they're so upset with me is because when there is pace, you don't mention pace. But I think it's notable enough how quick each pitcher is working, as the 0-2 is outside.
Missed with a fastball away after going to the slider in the previous pitch. Now you got pretty much anything open in a 1-2 count. Look for that back foot slider.
He went to the off speed, but hooked it outside. Now the count even at 2 to the left fielder, Wills. Two. Looks like Wills might have swung at that at the last possible second to keep himself alive. It was a lively fastball at the knees. As he stays alive, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, defensive swing right there. It looked like just to be able to keep his at-bat alive, and knew a pitch that started in the zone and sank at the last second, but already committed.
2-2, skips at the plate, and the count is full on Wills. Still no score here in the bottom of the third at Lowell Park. Brock Wills faces a payoff pitch with 2 outs. Darren Horn deals, and he's taking it low to work a 2-out walk.
It's a good at-bat from Wills, who battles back from way down in the count to draw a walk, fight off some tough pitches from Horn, who has that wipeout slider. So now it will be Mathis to the plate. Righty on righty, though, now, giving Horn the advantage.
Mathis is almost caught all the way up to Hunter Hines in the home run tally total as it's outside with him to the first pitch. He's got 9 now.
Yeah, and Hines has slowed down a little bit, only at 10.
The 1-0, chopped foul just away from the dugout. Mathis has been the Achilles heel to Hyannis' season all season long, as a third of those 9 home runs have come against the Harbor Hawks to go along with 10 RBIs, hitting .421 on the season.
Yeah, making a second half push for the MVP award.
Swing and a miss on the off speed. You could tell there that Mathis wanted his 4th homer against Hyannis on the season. Now count is 1-2.
Once again, you talk about Mathis and Smith, arguably 2 of the hottest players in this second half of the season.
That's a fly ball to left field and deep. Lipsy's just going to take a look and watch it fly into the bullpen. And there is Cole Mathis' 4th home run against Hyannis pitching on the season. He takes Horn deep with 2 away, and the score is now 2-0 to Cotuit.
Yeah, just a hanging slider, 106 miles an hour off the bat, 377 feet on that, and he knew it right away. Just taking a skip out of the batter's box, and there's the 2-out magic Cotuit has been known for.
As the first pitch inside to Keys, that makes that at-bat worked by Wills so important. That extends that inning to allow Mathis to come up and send that one out to the bullpen. As the 1-0 swung on and tipped into the glove of Donay.
Now you're starting to see Horn here push for it a little more. Saw 88 tops pitch speed you've seen today.
Here's a wave and a miss from Keys at the off speed. Now 1-2.
Fires back with another 87-mile-an-hour pitch down in the zone right now. He's trying to just work himself out of this.
As he steps off, it'll be a 1-2 count, as he's just given up a 2-run shot to Cole Mathis. That's low. Now 2-2.
Hyannis is going to have Cam Smith leading off the next inning to try and answer.
2-2 is a high chopper right back to Horn. He gloves and fields to York, who puts it away, but not before the damage has been done, just in the nick of time here in this first battle of the war, that is the Battle of Barnstable. Cole Mathis' 2-run shot gets the scoring started from Lowell. 2-0 Cotuit after 3.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Jake Gigliotti back out for his 4th inning of work. Now has a 2-run lead to work with, but he's facing the crux of Hyannis' lineup in Smith, York, and Ike. Time for Hyannis to respond.
That's what they've done so well, is when someone has pushed them a little bit, they've done a great job of pushing back as well. And now when you look at 3, 4, and 5 due up, this is the part of the lineup you want to have respond. And look back to the first when Hyannis had an opportunity to try and get a run across, but got to take advantage of opportunities because you don't know how many will come in this game, especially with such a sound defensive team like Cotuit.
The first pitch to Cam Smith was hacked at, and he punched it foul outside of first.
And especially with weather we're expecting to come in as well, every run and every lead is so important.
It's a weak ground ball to second on the high hop. Harlan fields and fires to put away Smith for the first out of the 4th. And that will bring up York.
This Cotuit team, most teams on Cape sit, around somewhere around 10-6 when it comes to games that they've led after the 5th inning.
As their strike 1 to York.
Cotuit 23-4 when leading after the 5th.
Outside, up and outside, 1-1 the count.
The sheer number of games that they have played after the 5th while leading.
York sends a fly ball out to right field and deep, settling under it and leaping. And did that go out? Oh, it did! It's a solo shot for Zach York, and with the help of an assist by Jacob McCoy. That ball was in McCoy's glove. As he jumped, it popped out of his glove and landed on the other side of the fence. When's the last time you've seen that? And just like that, energy shot straight back into Hyannis. They cut the lead in half. And on such a strange play, it is now 2-1 to Cotuit.
You saw Mike Talkman yesterday go right the home run. This is what McCoy tried to do. He climbed the wall, does a great job.
Inside to Ike.
And goes over, had it in his glove, but then comes down on the yellow overbearing on the top of the fencing and loses it. And instead of bringing it back into play,
swing and a miss from Ike.
It goes over the fence, and by rule is a home run.
Here's the 1-1 to Ike. It's on the ground to short. As Haskins fields and throws to put away Ike. What a strange play. That's not one I've seen in person. You see it once or twice every year, maybe if that.
The toughest parts of home run robberies is surviving the contact with the wall. And he did not. He challenged the wall, going full sprint back. He jumped and just couldn't survive that wall, and it popped out.
Yeah, I fought the wall and the wall won, as that song goes. As the pitch to Lipsy is low.
And this is a metal fence around 5 feet in height.
That didn't feel good.
So there's no give to it either. So when you go onto the wall, you have to brace for impact.
Outside, 2-0 to Lipsy.
On the impact, the ball just skirted out of the top of the glove and over.
Not only was that assisted by the outfielders, probably also assisted by the wind.
Now 3-0 the count to Lipsy.
Exactly. So once again, you have McCoy thinking it's going to be in one place, but then wind keeps it out a little bit because once again, we're already experiencing a lot of wind down here at ground level.
Inside, 4-pitch walk to Lipsy. That brings up Donay.
But there's so much more wind up above on the top level of tree level, as you can see throughout the park, that the wind is consistently up and moving. So on top of that, if once it gets up high into the atmosphere, it's getting pushed out by some heavy wind as well.
So it'll be Donay up with Lipsy on first. As I'll check back on Trey over at first.
Here we go again. We're going to get about 5 or 6 more of those in this at-bat.
No, I think with 2 outs here, Gigliotti's going to be very focused on Donay just trying to get out of this.
There is action in the Cotuit bullpen. As here's the first pitch to Donay. Wave and a miss. Wanted to give Hyannis the lead with that swing. 0-1 the count on the Florida catcher.
Yeah, 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball. That left to right movement, cutting right outside to the outer part of the plate to the righty.
0-1. Good take from Brody on the outer half. Those are pitches that they use to try and get Donay to bite. Holds firm there, count 1-1.
Starts him out with 2 straight sliders. Now we'll see if he goes to that sinker.
Talk about how important the sequencing is against a guy like him. As here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. There's the slider again. Now 1-2 the count.
Those were 3 straight perfect sliders. Just ran out of the zone. 2 of the 3 he got Donay to swing and miss. So now anything's open. He could go back to that slider if he wants to.
Lipsy leads off first. As here's the 1-2 to Donay. There goes Lipsy. Throw down to second, nowhere close. Stolen base for Lipsy to get himself into scoring position. Perhaps this changes the mentality of the at-bat for Donay as the pitch went high. Now 2-2 the count.
This is going to be your 2-strike mentality. Just try and be the assembly line and get it down to Gazdar with 2 outs. Just find open area, especially with Lipsy's speed.
And pick a pitch that you want and sit on it.
The 2-2 to Donay. Tipped it foul just about. Johnson got a good chunk of it. We'll do it again once Johnson recovers.
Not only did he get a piece of it, it might have hit his glove a little bit on the way down. He might also be a little frustrated with himself that he couldn't hang on to it, but he looks okay.
Home plate umpire Freddie DeJesus giving a nice long walk out to allow time for Johnson to kind of breathe a bit. So 1 run in on the York home run via the assist of Jacob McCoy. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner on second, wearing the number 2, is Trey Lipsy here in the bottom of the 4th with Brody Donay in the righty batter's box. Here is the 2-2 to Donay. He holds up as that's a pitch to try and get him to swing again, but a good disciplined take on the slider as the count runs full.
And there we see the growth of Brody Donay. With more at-bats, the more he sees these Cape League pitchers. It's a pitch maybe a couple of weeks ago that he doesn't lay off, but he's continued to see the ball better and better.
Gigliotti sets and deals the payoff. Swing and a miss. Down goes Donay, leaving the tying run stranded in scoring position. But Hyannis cuts into the deficit. Just chip away as they always do. The Zach York solo shot. McCoy fought the wall, and the wall won. And it cuts the lead to 2-1 after 3.5.
A brilliant idea starts at the source. Through innovative design, we're taking steps to create a better future. Now, the pure fresh taste of Dasani comes in a redesigned bottle. Up to 30% made from plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor. It's a sign that this is a business you can trust.
Hi. Oh, this is amazing.
Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
To the bottom of the fourth we go. Zach York's solo shot brings Hyannis back within one. We've talked about why this is such an important game to the league this year. The standings will tell you exactly that.
Yeah, in the East right now, YD currently paces it at 22-16-1. Orleans, just 5 points, 2.5 games behind them. And then Harwich and Brewster round out the playoff teams in the East. And then Chatham looking to get back into that conversation on their third coach of the year, rounds out the East. They're trying to get back on a 8-point deficit. Then in the West, we'll start at the bottom. Wareham at 30 points, only 9 points behind Bourne, trying to pull off a miracle and get back into the playoff picture. Bourne at fourth, Falmouth in third, and then these top two teams in the West, Cotuit and Hyannis. Cotuit 26-12-1, and Hyannis 24-13-2. And Hyannis just a game and a half back.
Has a first pitch outside to Trevor Haskins as we start the bottom of the fourth. Worth noting that the 2-run shot by Cole Mathis was Cotuit's first hit of the entire day, as the 1-0 waved at and missed. And the walk before Mathis in the at-bat to Wills was only the second base runner of the day. Keys reached on the E3, and up until that walk, there was nothing, as the 1-1 waved at and missed. So despite the home run, overall, that was the only mistake so far of the day.
And once again, it's just one mistake that Horn wants back.
1-2 is low.
And right now, you have a solid pitch count. You have a solid base in at 52 pitches right now, so he's able to build upon it here.
The 2-2, he got him. Haskins down looking.
And you mentioned that one mistake that he wants back. That was kind of the case against Harwich a couple of weeks ago when they ended up tying that game. Horn giving up that one mistake, the home run, but other than that, he was stellar. Same story today.
The 3-run shot to Ali Camarillo back at White House Field before the All-Star game, as the changeup is taken on the corner for strike one by Tobias. Now quickly 0-2 on Tobias. It's important that Horn bounces back in this inning. He's quickly ahead on the first baseman 0-2, and he misses with the curve low. He liked that pitch, but didn't have the location. It'll be a 1-2 to the lefty. Horn deals, rip to first. There's York to snare it on one hop, and he flips over to Horn, who covers to put away the second out.
It's a great move by York. Comes in, crashes in on the line, stabs it, and then even better move by Horn to get off the mound as quickly as he does to get over in time to first base.
And ever since that error back in the first inning, York has been great at first base.
First pitch misses to McCoy.
He's had a lot of opportunities and a lot of tough plays to be made, and he's risen to the occasion.
As that's fouled away. Speaks to his short memory there, too. Not only that, but he had a chance to redeem himself immediately after the error. He got Haskins on the ground on a nice hot shot down that line and made a really nice play. As the 1-1 chopped foul at the plate. That one could be ours. Chopped right in front of us. Now 1-2 the count.
York always fielded his position well at Grand Canyon and has translated that here on Cape.
Soft fly ball to center. In comes Earhart, and it's going to dunk in between him and Gazdar. As Gazdar did have to flip that in quickly. Good awareness from him to hold McCoy to a single. Can't be mad at that if you're Darren Horn. Just dunked it in between two guys.
Yeah, only 64 miles an hour off the bat, only traveled 211 feet. Just a blooper off the end of the bat on a pitch that got in on him and jammed him.
It's no man's land. That's where you want to put it.
First pitch to Johnson is outside.
One of the deeper parks here, 387 dead to center here at Lowell Park.
Is that an 8? I thought that
was
was a 9.
It's a 9, yeah.
Excuse me, 397.
Okay.
1-1 the count as he dipped in the slider. Here's the 1-1 to Johnson. It's on the ground up the middle and through for a base hit. Staying at second is McCoy. So 2 two-out singles, one for McCoy. That one a bit better and a bit cleaner off the bat of Johnson. And that brings up Harlan with 2 on and 2 out.
Still only 66 miles an hour off the bat. Just a little soft contact. Again, it kind of got in on him and jammed him a little bit. Here, Brody Donay's going to make a trip out to the mound and just tell Horn, listen, you made your pitch twice in a row, and you got to tip your hat to Cotuit, who was able to just muscle it into the outfield and find some grass, but you got to buckle down.
And that's what makes this Cotuit team so tough, is that even with those lower exit velos, they just still find a way to get them into the outfield one way or another. As Harlan sends it right off the mound, straight to Heinlein, who steps on second to get the force and end the inning. So good bounce back pitch there from Horn. He leaves 2 runners stranded, and we go to the 5th, 2-1 to Cotuit.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevator. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen. Tell Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you on the club with?
All about it. Tell Mama.
Gigliotti back out onto the mound, looking to pitch himself into a decision. Should he get 3 more outs, he will be in line for the win if Hyannis do not score. They will bring up Gazdar, Heinlein, and Earhart. So with Earhart coming up, it'll be the 3rd time through the order for Hyannis. There has been constant action in the Cotuit bullpen, so you could look maybe to see one more out or one more base runner out of Gigliotti could end his day.
Once again, staying within reach, and that's what you want to have Gigliotti do. See how far he's able to get rolling. And when you look at both these guys, it's how far can you get right now your arms to go, especially before you want to enter into the bullpen.
So it'll be Gazdar to lead things off. Slapped a ground rule double out to right field in the 3rd. It's been a rough day out there for Jacob McCoy. Or James McCoy, beg your pardon. As the first pitch to Gazdar is low and away. Couldn't handle the ball. Getting caught up in the wind for Gazdar as the pitch is outside, and then assisted on the Zach York home run.
Yeah, coming off a game like yesterday where Cotuit got stomped, there's maybe a little bit of leftover frustration.
2-0 to Gazdar is away again. Basically the same spot on all 3 of those pitches, all 3 called balls.
Those aren't bad pitches.
No, not at all.
Good sliders away.
3-0, there's a strike at the letters. Maybe just a bit below. Now the count 3-1 on John.
Pitch that just comes into the zone, just get me over pitch there.
3-1, gloved, and through the glove of Gigliotti, which will allow Gazdar to reach. So he's on for the second time in a row with a leadoff knock. We'll see how that's scored as Gazdar reaches, allowing Hainline to come up with a leadoff runner on.
That's got to be a single. You got to give that to John. Yeah, he got his glove on it, but that's a comebacker. It was hit pretty hard, and looks like Mike Roberts is going to make his way to the mound. This might do it.
And there's your base runner that could end Gigliotti's day. Looks like it just about will.
It will also be ruled a single for Gazdar.
So that will end Gigliotti's day. We'll tell you about the new pitcher as Gigliotti leaves Gazdar on first as his responsibility. We'll tell you about the new Cotuit pitcher after this.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why'd he sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Cam Schulke on in relief for Cotuit. Hyannis has seen him a few times as the JUCO transfer is now committed to Mississippi State. Got a few different arm angles. Funky, herky-jerky looking guy, but not the first time Hyannis has seen him.
No, not the first time they've seen him. Seen him twice already this year. And this is a pitcher that has been gone to a lot from Mike Roberts out of the bullpen. This will be his 13th appearance of the year for the Kettleers. Has a 3.85 ERA through 28 innings pitched. You talk about a summer ball lover. This is the guy that you love in summer ball because he's able to eat up some innings for you. And rather, the last two times, though, he did get hit around a little bit against YD on the 25th.
They'll immediately check back to Gazdar at first.
Gave up 3 runs. And then on the 21st of July, gave up 4. Only one of them was earned, though, so you can get to him.
As Hainline doesn't offer out of bunt, pulls away 1-0 the count.
He's a true submarine pitcher, and it almost reminds you a little bit of Tyler Rogers in that his knuckles are almost scraping the dirt as he throws the ball, but unlike Tyler Rogers, he doesn't get fully extended on it and kind of just frisbees it on in there. Fastball, slider, his main 2 pitches, but he'll mix in a curveball and very rarely a changeup.
As it's a bunt that's popped just behind Earhart. Now 1-1 the count on Hainline. It's almost a robotic movement that he has when he goes to that submarine. Very herky, very jerky. As it'll be a 1-1 to Hainline with Gazdar off first. Squares again. That's a good bunt. It'll get the job done. Schulke picks up fields and throws to retire Hainline. Sacrifice successful as Gazdar moves up to second. Was pushed right about to the mound as Keeves played in pretty shallow. Nicely bunted by Hainline.
Now you're going to bring up Zach Earhart. It's 1 for 2 against Schulke with a bomb of a home run last time Hyannis was here. That went right to over the left field wall.
Earhart takes the first pitch at the letters for strike 1.
Now is a resurgence you talked about for Earhart. It was one of those pump-up at-bats for him.
The 0-1 That's a good curveball. Coming in as it went low, now 1-1 the count. That's such a dangerous pitch. Coming from low, goes out of the hand a bit high, and then just dips right back in low. It's a rainbow type of arc. As Gazdar leads off second, the 1-1 is pushed on the ground to second and through for a base hit. Gazdar rounds third. Here he comes home. There will be no throw. It goes into second. It's an RBI single for Earhart, and this game is tied at 2.
So you want to start there with the bunt of Hainline, because that's a huge manufacture that you're able to sacrifice an out on Hainline on the bunt to be able to move Gazdar into scoring position, knowing that Zach Earhart sees the ball extremely well out of Schulke's hand, does a good job there of floating it through the gap between Harlan and Tobias on the right side of the infield, and once again, now a tie ball game.
I want to say something. I feel like this is a Jacob Irons kind of note. How about the confidence in Zach Earhart as well to be able to put Hainline in the situation to bunt, put Gazdar there as the first pitch. There goes Earhart. Throw down to second in plenty of time, but he missed the tag. He got in. Did they call him? They just called him out? The umpire can change calls like that? He was called safe initially. Saying that he came off the bag is the explanation from Freddie DeJesus. Was initially called safe, but because he comes off the bag, the call is then changed. That's the explanation. Must have heard me. As Eric Beatty having a discussion with the third base umpire, Tony Letizio. Not too much of a complaint from Earhart there, though, as he jogs off. So Earhart caught stealing after he initially beat the throw but slid off the bag. As the 0-1 is a looping curveball. He didn't throw that one as the submarine. He has multiple arm angles, and that's where it comes in handy, as it's a 1-2 count now to Mitchell. 0-2, beg your pardon, to Mitchell. It's weakly grounded. Foul. It trickled right up along the first baseline, and it took right until Tobias fielded it to determine whether or not that was a fair or foul ball.
Yeah, it looks like it hit his foot there.
So we'll do the 0-2 again to Mitchell. Schulke deals at the knees, strike 3. Mitchell not sure as he goes down looking, but Zach Earhart ties this game, scoring John Gazdar with a single through the right side. We're halfway through from Lowell Park. This game is tied at 2.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Welcome you back as we go to the bottom of the 5th at the halfway mark. This is how we stand right now on the box score. It's been pretty even so far. 2-5-1 for Hyannis, 2-3-0 for Cotuit. As that's how things stand halfway through. As let the second half commence. It is Darren Horn who is still out there looking to pitch himself into a decision now. Or it might even be a no decision regardless if he finishes this inning with the game tied. As here's the 0-1 to Younger. He leaves it low. Did he go? He did not on the appeal. So it'll be Younger, Willis, and Mathis, 9, 1, and 2 in the Kettleers order. On the ground to short, deep to the backhand side as Gazdar fields and throws. Oh, he did not beat the throw. Just in time getting there was Younger. Great throw from Gazdar across his body with his momentum moving him to third base. To even get it there with even a prayer, he really almost did get him, but Younger beats it out.
Yeah, deep in the hole by Gazdar there. And as a great throw, it just caught up in the air for a little bit. Couldn't, especially on the move over, has to come across his body, had to throw everything at it.
Squared a bunt, pushed up the third baseline, and foul by Wills. So now Ike has something to be aware of, as his toes will just about touch the grass at the hot corner. 0-1 the count on Wills, who walked and scored on the Mathis home run back in the third. The 0-1, there's a square, and it's pushed, and it has hit Brock Wills. And did they say it was in fair territory? No. So it brings it to 0-2 now.
That was very close for Wills to be out of the box. It was a drag bunt that he was running with the ball as he put it down, and very close call there. If he would have been out of the box, he would have been called out. Still squaring to bunt with 2 strikes, though.
They check back at first on Younger. Perhaps just a bluff, as Ike still stays in at third. The rest of the infield playing to normal depth. Here's the square, does pull back, and it's way high with the 0-2 pitch from Horn. Now 1-2. It'll be a 1-2. Horn sets and fires back to first.
A lot of checks to first. Both teams.
Yeah, each and every run matters here. Maybe hoping if they can get lucky, as it'll be the 1-2 again. Upstairs now 2-2 to the leadoff hitter, Wills.
Now on a 2-2, have to imagine this is going to be another situation where they want to square and pull it back.
He got him. Wills down looking with a beautiful pitch off speed on the outside corner for the first out. So that brings up Mathis, who is the Cotuit offense today. A 2-run shot back in the third on a hanging slider. Good pitch from Horn at the knees. Doesn't like the fact that it was called low.
Yeah, just below the knees there.
Younger leads off first, as Mathis in the box, as he was leaning there, was Younger as they checked back, but was back in plenty of time. So this is a big at-bat here, having led up a homer to Mathis in the third. Comes back for him a second time, as there is a pitch right at the knees, buckles him. Now 1-1 with the slider.
Just a great piece of pitching right now. Horn has.
1-1 is low and away. Now 2-1.
Right now here in this 5th inning, doing a great job of commanding the lower third of that zone.
As Mathis will now step out. Use his plate disengagement. Now 2-1 the count on Mathis. Horn sets and deals. There's a strike, dipping it in again. Now count is 2-2 on Mathis.
Those might be 2 of the best sliders of the day, going in the front door against Mathis. A righty on righty, hits the inner third of the plate. Such a tough pitch.
The 2-2 to Mathis. Low and away, as Horn knows he yanked that. As that works the count full on Mathis. You could tell Horn really wants this one.
It ran up to over 3,300 on the spin rate on that last pitch, so hard to command where it's going to go.
The payoff is ripped into left field, a base hit. Lipsy over to cut it off and will keep. And now they have to throw back to second as Younger slipped trying to round second. Lipsy did fire in, but Younger was back in plenty of time. So 2 on and 1 out as Mathis absolutely ripped one out into left field.
Now you're going to go up against Sean Keys. It's a big spot in this game right now.
Don't have a view of the bullpen. It'd be interesting to see if anybody was up, and if so, who it would be, as the first pitch to Keys waved at and missed. That's a nasty curveball from Horn.
That was a changeup. Just away, dipping out of the zone. That's exactly where you want the changeup located.
0-1, there it is again. 0-2 the count. 2 big waves and misses from Keys.
That arm side movement on his changeup is just devastating. Those are 2 perfect pitches.
The 0-2 to Keys. Horn deals, went to it again, but this time missed it low.
And what will happen with those changeups away is that if you can put it on the away and low corner of the plate, guys are going to swing really hard at it, but get out in front of it and roll it over.
That's 4 straight changeups now for Horn. He hit the first 2, now missed the second 2.
Now, working his fastball at 88 that just can't find the zone.
Keys has worked himself back into this at bat. Runners on first and second for the number 3 hitter in the Cotuit lineup. 2-2 is a fly ball down the left field line, foul, and Lipsy started too far over towards left center to have a shot, as they have Keys fielded or shaded just a little bit over to the right side, playing the pull.
Tried to sneak a slider in the back door, but good job fighting that one off.
The 2-2 is a fly ball to right field and deep. Back goes Earhart, and he's just going to give it a look. A 3-run shot for Sean Keys, and that breaks the tie here at Lowell Park. Now 5-2 to Cotuit.
It's a really well-hit ball by Sean Keys, 105 miles an hour off the bat, carrying it directly. We talk about the wind pushing out directly to center field. This one goes to right, and all that Earhart can do is watch it fly over. And now skipper Eric Beatty will come out to have a conversation with Horn, and that looks like that will do his outing.
It was a really good outing outside of those 2 mistakes right there, the one from Mathis and that one from Sean Keys, which ends Darren Horn's day. He exits this game as the 3-run home run gives Cotuit the 5-2 lead.
Diet Coke? Who are you, my mom?
You should be so lucky, because you know what moms do? Well, I suppose we should start with the whole giving you life thing. It seems like that should be enough. No? Okay. What about her ability to send shockwaves through the neighborhood without saying a word? Or whip up a ridiculous handmade costume that you forgot to tell her about. Not to make you happy, but because she had a reputation to uphold. She invented rideshare, called it carpool, and did it for free. She didn't need those dating apps either. You copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music.
Why not?
Oh, and she can win any argument in 4 words.
Because I said so.
Everything you're trying to do, she's already done it, did it better, and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, drink what your mama gave you.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are, they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Ethan Lanthier enters this game in the bottom of the 5th. 1 out in the 5th, and Cotuit has now taken a 5-2 lead on the 3-run shot from Sean Keys.
Now you call in an arm that you trust in Ethan Lanthier to try and work Hyannis out of this bottom half of the 5th and be able to have this opportunity. Look at these two teams. Ethan Lanthier, an all-star out of St. Cloud State to start the year, now is going to become a Kansas Jayhawk for the rest of the spring ball.
Yeah, a guy with a wipeout slider, much like Horn.
He's also got that kind of juice to his fastball as the 93-mile-an-hour goes up high to Haskins. One-0 served into right field, but right there and awaiting it is Earhart to put it away for out number 2.
That's what you like to see from Lanthier in those spots. 93-mile-an-hour fastball inside again, and then 98 miles an hour off the bat. It was smoked out to Earhart in right field, and Earhart leaping up just to be able to make the grab there as it started to run on him a little bit.
So 2 away now for Tobias as he takes the 93-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Tobias 0 for 2 on the day. The 0-1 is low. Now 1-1 the count. Got a nice crowd on hand. They love that 3-run shot from Sean Keys. As here's the 1-1. Fouled away. It was well behind 94 miles an hour there from Lanthier.
Yeah, some early evening baseball here on Cape Cod. Nothing like it on a Saturday, the final weekend of regular season play.
It'll be a 1-2 to Tobias. Lanthier deals. He went the off speed and fouls it third base side. Donay gives it a look, and it lands on top, just on top of the other side of the dugout. And we'll do it again.
He almost entered into the Cotuit dugout that's submerged down the third base line, stepped into it, but then watches the ball fly over the netting up above the dugout.
It'll be a 1-2 again after the foul ball. Lanthier deals. He juiced him up at 95 to get him swinging to end the inning, but the damage has been done. Sean Keys' 3-run shot gives Cotuit the lead back 5-2 after 5.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Clearway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Cam Schulke back out. He's got Cam Smith to face. It's tough opposition as well, but now Hyannis, needing to respond again, is now facing a 3-run deficit after Sean Keys knocked Aaron Horn out of the game with a 3-run shot. Cam Smith to be the first to start the response. Into the 6th we go.
Once again, we talked about when Hyannis has had their backs to the walls, they do a good job of just responding. That's all you need for Hyannis to do here. Try and get 1 run and creep into this 3-run lead that Cotuit possesses right now, because you have Smith and you have the heart of the lineup due up here to make a damage.
First pitch just below 70 miles an hour at 69 miles an hour in the zone to Smith for strike one. The 0-1 from Schulke. Smith knew he might have missed one there. Quickly 0-2 on the inside corner. As a tent's just overturned on right behind the plate. The show must go on. Just outside. Smith looked back as if to maybe say his thoughts. He was looking to see if DeJesus was going to punch him out. As here is the 1-2 to Smith. It's a fly ball to center field and deep. Back goes Younger, still back, and he was backpedaling about 2 steps in front of the wall to make the catch for a loud first out.
Ball that travels 386 feet. It's a really solidly hit ball. It's just, there is nothing there. It's just a short wall that you can't do anything about.
Yeah, and a gust of wind probably, if it catches it right, that might carry that out.
First pitch to York is on the ground to short, and it's booted by Haskins. That'll allow him to reach on the E6.
Yeah, Smith just 10 feet shy of a homer, and then York gets his batting average risen on a softly hit ball to short that just kind of eats up Haskins. It was a tough short hop that he went to the forehand side and just couldn't dig it out.
So York on the E6. That brings up Ike, who punches it foul down the first base line out of play.
Now with the runner aboard for Brandon Ike, that allows for this opportunity.
Schulke's 0-1. Low at 67 miles an hour to the VCU product. York leads off first. Here's the 1-1. Looks like Ike was ready for that, but he rolled it over and fouled it down the third base line. Now 1-2 the count.
2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for the Harbor Hawks. 5 runs on 6 hits and 1 error for Cotuit.
1-2 misses. It's a good take, though, from Ike, who works the count to 2-2.
That's a very uncharacteristic error as well from the third best fielding team in this league at a .970 fielding percentage.
2-2 is inside, and that works the count full. And here's another chance now for Hyannis. They have to try and take advantage of this mistake. The payoff to Ike on the ground to second. This could be 2. Gliding over is Haskins for 1. He throws on to first for the double play. 6-3 it goes, and that ends the top of the 6th. Cotuit leads 5-2, but before we go to the bottom of the 6th, let's go to the 4th member of our team, Bria Losick.
Okay. I talked to Nick Johnson before the game, and he said that a pivotal moment this year was actually when the Harbor Hawks started wearing their orange jerseys. And he said not just because of, obviously a new jersey that's coming in, new swag to wear, but also because it came with a new attitude of putting on the new threads. It was like a new identity for the team, because coming in, the team was leading the league in strikeouts for the first half of the season. They weren't playing the way that Nick and the rest of the baseball operations department recruited them to be, playing with contact, running a lot, not swinging and missing. And he said that a lot of players came in, like John Gazdar, to name a couple, Zach York, and it just changed the entire mentality. And now we see that, unlike at the beginning of the season, there haven't been a ton of games that the Hawks have stopped fighting. Last night we saw it with the walk-off. Hawks gave up a grand slam, and they came right back to win it. And so he believes whenever they get down, it's not over. So there's that new mentality. And guess what? They're wearing the orange today.
Yeah, wearing the orange, indeed. You're able to get that new mentality.
Do we know how often they plan on wearing the orange?
Almost every day, because they win almost every time they wear them.
Uh-huh. Well, thank you very much, Bria.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties there, so.
Oh, no worries at all.
Glad to get on.
Always glad to have you on, Bria Losick. She delivers once again, as always, as Ethan Lanthier back out for the bottom of the 6th. As he deals the first pitch on the corner to James McCoy.
How can you argue with wearing those orange jerseys nearly every day?
The 0-1 swung on and missed.
They wore them at the All-Star game as well.
Gotta look flashy for the All-Star game. Yeah, look good, feel good, play good. As it'll be an 0-2 to McCoy. Lanthier's fastball goes high.
Talk about just that sense of pride they have when they wear these orange jerseys.
1-2 outside.
As well as they feel like this is a part of their experience here, and they always get juiced up whenever you see them in the orange.
2-2, he got him looking. Nice lively fastball on the outer half to set down James McCoy for out number 1 of the bottom of the 6th.
5th strikeout of the day for Harbor Hawks pitching. And Lanthier's looked really good. That fastball catching outer third of the plate, 93 miles an hour. He looks sharp right now.
Off-speed pitch misses to Johnson. McCoy, Johnson, and Harlan, the 3 due up this inning here in the bottom of the 6th. Here is the 1-0. Pulled the string again, but yanked it out. Now 2-0 the count.
On that breaking ball, it's how far will you be able to get a hitter to come around and think it's going to stay within the zone.
2-0, bit of chin music for Johnson to listen to with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. 3-0 the count now on Dylan Johnson, the catcher for Cotuit today.
That pitch that just looked like it slipped out of the hand of Lanthier on his delivery down.
The 3-0 up high again. Not sure Johnson wants to listen to any more of that music, so he takes off the headphones and takes the trot down to first.
Now you bring on base runners for Cotuit, and so far today when they've had base runners on, they've taken advantage of them. Lanthier's got to try and shut this door here with Johnson aboard.
The first pitch to Trotter Harlan is low. Another College of Central Florida guy going along with his teammate who's currently pitching, Cam Schulke. As here's the 1-0. Fouled off the hands on the check swing from Harlan. Now 1-1.
Now Harlan had a look at the stand on a pitch that just ran inside on him, was pulling back on the pitch, but caught a little piece of the wood and fouled it away.
1-1 waved at and missed. Nice 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Lanthier to work himself back to 1-2.
This matchup, of course, a rematch of the first-round playoff series last year, the series that Hyannis took.
Swing and a miss at the high cheese as Harlan goes down swinging for out number 2 of the bottom of the 6th.
Perfect fastball up and in, still in the zone, elevated it, but nowhere where Harlan could do any damage unless he was really sitting on it, but gets him to wave and miss. But Hyannis took this series handedly in Game 3, a blowout.
There's another strike with the fastball. It's really working. Cotuit not being able to see it as well out of the hand of Lanthier. The 0-1 chopped foul into the Hyannis dugout. Nice barehanded play by someone in there. I can't tell if it was a player or coach or whoever it was.
Game 3 was here at Lowell Park. Nolan Shonowell, the top draft pick who didn't have the greatest of regular seasons with Hyannis last year, had a stellar postseason.
0-2 just above the letters. Now 1-2 on Younger.
You look back to Earhart.
Yep.
Homer back here in that big third game, set the tone.
1-2 is the fastball on the ground to Gazdar. He flips on to Hainline to go the short way and retire Johnson, advancing to second and ending the sixth. Let's go to the seventh. Hyannis with a little bit more time to respond, but time is becoming of the essence as they trail 5-2 after 6.
A brilliant idea starts at the source. Through innovative design, we're taking steps to create a better future. Now, the pure fresh taste of Dasani comes in a redesigned bottle, up to 30% made from plants, and as always, it's 100% recyclable. Plant bottle, designed to make a difference.
This BBB seal is a badge of honor. It's a sign that this is a business you can trust. Each year, millions of people see the BBB seal on a door or a window or a website and breathe a little easier. See the seal and know you've made the right choice. Find a business you can trust. Ask BBB.
Let's go to the seventh inning. Cotuit leads this one 5-2. The Sean Keys 3-run homer in the fifth is the difference. It broke a 2-2 tie. Trey Lipsy, Brody Donay, and John Gazdar are due up. This has been a Hyannis team that has had the characteristic of the clutch gene and response all season long. Time for them to make their biggest and most important one of the season.
Once again, we talk about a big opportunity here to try and climb in the standings. 1.5 games back of these Cotuit Kettleers.
First pitch is low to Lipsy. 1-0 the count on the Buckeye.
This game really could decide who has the 1 seed in the West and ultimately could get home field advantage.
1-0, it clipped Lipsy on the way down, so he will make his way down to first.
Trey Lipsy continues to just be a magnet for hit by pitches. He extends his league lead, and that's number 57 for Hyannis on the year in terms of hit by pitches. They now have a 17 hit by pitch lead on Brewster.
It's going to be a pinch hitter here. Bennett Thompson comes in the pinch hitting role from Brody Donay.
As they check back on Lipsy at first.
Thompson, the hero last night, a walk-off single.
And check on Lipsy again. You'll imagine that once we go to the bottom of the seventh, it'll be a straight swap as he is pinch hitting for Brody Donay. So you imagine we'll see Thompson slop behind the plate. 3 straight checkovers on Lipsy. As now the first pitch to Thompson comes. He sees it in at the knees for strike 1.
68 miles an hour, 67 on TrackMan.
For Thompson, a newer addition, this is the first time he's seeing Schulke in his submarine-style throw.
0-1 is low. About the same pitch, just a few inches lower. Now 1-1 the count on Thompson.
Other players, every player is different in how they view Schulke and how they're able to see off the submarine.
That swung on and nubbed foul up the first base line.
And he's so hard to hit. And it's illustrated in his give, that is his arm slot. If he comes lower, he's going to throw a certain pitch, and Hyannis knows what's coming, and it's just a matter of whether or not you can hit it.
I mean, Lipsy was standing on first there, and they checked back to him. He didn't even have time to get off of first. It'll be a 1-2 coming to Thompson. Lipsy takes his lead and checks back again.
Sun now showering the field as it begins to set.
That dips low and away. 2-2 the count on Thompson. Stands in pinch hitting for Brody Donay here in the top of the 7th. Trey Lipsy was clipped by a pitch, so he is on as the leadoff batter. As here's the 2-2, tipped into the screen.
Great at-bat by Thompson there. 67-mile-an-hour pitch. Able to stay out in front of it. Able to do a good job to extend his at-bat.
Good defensive swing, too.
Lipsy leads off first. As here's the 2-2 to Thompson. Did he go? No, he did not on the appeal. He came over the top that time, did Schulke, just to kind of confuse the eyes a little bit. Didn't fool Thompson, though, as the count runs full.
Yeah, still looked like a slider coming over the top. Same pitch that he uses in the Submarine.
Back to the Submarine. He's tipped it foul again.
Quality AB here for Bennett Thompson. Now going to be the 7th pitch of this at-bat now to come.
As here is the payoff to Thompson. It's a fly ball deep down the left field line, but foul. He was just out in front of it.
96 miles an hour off the bat, just pulled it. That would have went a country mile.
On the 9th pitch of this at-bat to come against Thompson.
He's worked it well here in his pinch hit appearance for Donay. The payoff again is low. That's a great at-bat. He comes in for Brody Donay to do exactly that. And now that brings up Gazdar, who represents the tying run.
You know how golfers can walk in a putt after they make it? When they know it's going in, they'll start to go down and grab the ball out of the hole when they know it's going in. Thompson was running to first base before the ball even hit the catcher's glove. He knew that that was ball 4 all the way.
So a hit by pitch for Lipsy, and now a really hard-earned walk. For Thompson, will bring up Gazdar.
It's going to bring in Wills off of the dugout. Ask of field manager Mike Roberts.
As Roberts is out of the dugout as the first pitch taken low. He's out off the top step, relaying commands in case a bunt is laid down. As Gazdar did not square on the 1-0, doesn't hear and takes it up and away.
That's why right now you'll have the corners come in firm on the grass, both Tobias and Keys.
2-0 to Gazdar is low. Now 3-0 to John. One more ball would load the bases for Hainline.
Hainline, and then after him, the top of the lineup, and Zach Earhart, who's seen the ball really well today.
Here's the 3-0 to John. There is strike one right down Broadway.
Bright red.
Taking as red as you could get it there.
Know.
Runners off first and second for Gazdar in a 5-2 game to Cotuit. 3-1 to Gazdar. Soft fly ball, and it dunks into left center field for a base hit. It hung up just a little bit too high, so Lipsy had to wait. Therefore, it is station to station for Hyannis, but they're in real business now. The go-ahead runner is on first base. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the top of the 7th for Hainline.
Yeah, just a little bloop single. Didn't go all that far, probably about 200 feet into left center field, but good piece of hitting to find some open outfield grass. And now Elijah Hainline with a chance to get this back within striking distance for Hyannis.
As Schulke zipped in the first pitch on the outside corner for strike one. It'll be an 0-1. Schulke deals. It's on the ground to second. He flips on for one. On to first. It's a double play. run does score to make it a 5-3 game, but Hainline grounds into a huge double play for Schulke. A big 2 outs, and instead of anything else, now there is only a runner 90 feet away as opposed to anywhere else. And that brings up Earhart, having 1 run scored, but now 2 away. Big hack at the first pitch for strike 1.
Remember, Earhart has homered off of Schulke before.
Quickly 0-2 on Earhart.
However, he's going to have to battle and change his approach on an 0-2 count. He's got to defend, protect the plate.
Runner leading off third is Thompson. As here's the 0-2 to Earhart. Froze him and punched him out to end the inning. And Cotuit escapes a massive jam, only letting up 1 run as the runner on third, Thompson, is stranded. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Stretch time at Lowell Park. 5-3 to Cotuit.
Hey, Mama, what's up?
Did you switch my service from Verizon to T-Mobile? Yep.
T-Mobile has the only nationwide 5G.
Well, Mr. Know-It-All, let's see if you right about that.
Mama. Hey, Mama, I'm working.
It works at the pie shop.
T-Mobile's 5G works inside and out. Hey, what you need, Mama? I'm trying to watch the game with my boys.
It works in the park.
Oh, okay. Mama?
It works at the aquarium, in the parking garage, at the beach, in the elevators. It works in the movie theater, too. Oh, shush yourself. I'm talking to my baby.
You're driving me crazy.
I was just calling you to say thank you, baby. I love you.
I love you too, Mama. Yes, Mama.
It works in the kitchen. Hell, Mama.
Mama?
5G, it works in the club.
Who are you on a club with?
All about it. Hell, Mama.
Ethan Lanthier back out for another inning of work. He has now a 2-run deficit as opposed to 3, but Hyannis did have the bases loaded and nobody out as we take a look at the box score on the day.
It's very even game so far. I mean, taking a look at those box scores, it's just been those timely hits Cotuit has had. You look at the 2 home runs, those have been the big shots, and that's how they're able to be here. 2 hits are what is beating Hyannis right now for Cotuit, but Hyannis once again just got to lock in and try and be able to work out of this bottom of the 7th, get to the top of the 8th, and try and get a couple runs across to the best of their ability.
Not only the timely hits, but the timely pitches and fielding as well, as they got Hainline there to ground into a double play in what could have been a huge momentum swinger, but it stays with Cotuit. As the bases were loaded with nobody out for Hainline, as the first pitch from Lanthier into Wills goes wide. As here's the 1-0, fouled away. 1-1 the count. Has been a real battle here on both sides. Hyannis getting down but getting right back up, chipping away at the leads. The 2 separate leads that Cotuit has had. It'll be a 1-1 to Wills. Lanthier deals on the corner for strike 2.
93-mile-an-hour fastball, paint, down and away. Quickly ahead, 1-2.
Lanthier deals the fastball outside. Despite that, with movement.
Yeah, 92-mile-an-hour fastball that just continued to run outside the zone against the lefty.
The 2-2 with the off-speed dunked way out of the zone as Brock Wills works himself back to 3-2. Here's the payoff from Lanthier. Fastball ripped and straight at Cam Smith, Brandon Ike. So used to seeing Cam Smith's smooth glove, but Brandon Ike can do it too at third base. He makes a smooth play to retire Wills.
Yeah, able to slide it down and make the play almost like halfway standing and Kneeling, able to stab it for out number 1, a hot shot.
First pitch to Mathis is popped up behind the plate. Thompson gives it a look and puts it away just in front of the fence. Nice defensive play from Bennett Thompson. That's what he's in there to do, to make those plays. He subs in straight swap for Brody Donay and a quick 2 outs as Mathis, the dangerous Cole Mathis, who was 2 for 3 before that point, is retired.
Does a great job tracking it directly up. Like we talk about, Mick, you going up, it's hard, especially with the sun at its peak right now in this day. So he's looking right up at it and tracks it really well.
First pitch outside to Keys.
And that's why they brought in Bennett Thompson, to play really, really good defense behind home plate, a premier position.
The 1-0. Pulled the string and dunked it in at the knees. 50-50 pitch, called the strike. Here's the 1-1. Zipped in but outside.
Once again, something we see from Thompson and Donay, both catchers right now in today's game, giving affirmations to their pitchers on the mound.
Big swing and a miss at a high fastball. Now 2-2 the count on Keys.
Where they're liking the placement right there. You see Thompson nodding his head right directly back to Lanthier about the 92-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs. It really helps the pitcher's confidence.
Lanthier's 2-2 just outside. The man before Keys, who was Mathis as well as Keys himself, have the 2 big blows in this game. 2-run shot for Mathis in the 3rd and 3-run shot for Keys in the 5th. As here's the payoff. It's fouled away as he pulled the string.
Yeah, sun has gone behind a cloud once again, darkening Lowell Park. Still pretty far from sunset, though.
The payoff is on the ground to 3rd. Ike fields and throws high, and it pulled York off the bag.
This is going to elicit a conversation from manager Eric Beatty. And he's going right for Keith Peterson, the first base umpire, to have a conversation with him. And all that skipper Eric Beatty can do is hope he can ask for help for his crew.
It didn't look like Peterson had the best view of it. He was more behind the base, and the first baseman, York, was pulled off of it, or allegedly off of it, right in front of him, perhaps blocking his view. And I think that's what Eric Beatty is just asking, is for them to get together.
And they will get together.
It looks like they will.
And he'll ask for help here. Peterson calling in Tony Letizio and Freddie De Jesus. Tony Letizio, maybe one of the most prompt umpires I've ever seen to go ask for help. He's now going to get called in to provide assistance as well. This is a great crew on here tonight.
I don't think this is a call that they're going to overturn, though. It was just so borderline.
Maybe if there was a definitive look for De Jesus.
And watching the Cotuit replay of the play, it looks like Zach York's foot initially came off the bag, and then he caught the ball, and then he went back down onto it. In a long conversation here.
They do call him out. And hey, Mickey Doolittle, maybe they heard you and said, yeah, well, we'll do it anyway. And that is the correct call, as we just saw from the Cotuit replay there. The foot coming off the bag initially, but does eventually come back on as called together. That's exactly what Eric Beatty wants to do, as some displeasure from the Cotuit fans. But the 7th inning now over. We go to the 8th, Hyannis trailing by 2.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day, and the harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to wearing UFOs. The first time I put on a pair of UFOs, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a pair of UFOs, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them.
Best ever? Good question. Wait, why do you sound like Dr. J in your head? I've always sounded like Dr. J in my head, which means Dr. J's outside voice sounds like my inside voice? Which Coke? The doc would know. He got the world to call him doctor without going to med school. There's only one best ever.
Welcome you back. We go to the top of the 8th here at Lowell Park. 5-3 to Cotuit. There's a heated discussion right now between home plate umpire Freddie DeJesus and manager Mike Roberts of Cotuit. Roberts probably wondering why he couldn't get some conference on some close calls. I mean, we saw the replay, and it was clearly the correct call. That York's foot was eventually on the bag. First pitch to Nick Mitchell, low and away. Looked like Roberts was right on the line there as DeJesus was almost urging him, go back to the dugout. You've made your case. As the 1-0 to Mitchell, low with the wind really picking up now.
Talk about those storms that are brewing off on the Atlantic right now. The wind is starting to kick up here a little bit. This game got moved up.
Pitch is low now, 3-0 to Nick Mitchell, who leads off the bottom of the 8th. Mitchell, Smith, and York.
They got moved up 15 minutes earlier to try and accommodate light as well as the incoming inclement weather.
Taken at the knees, 3-1 the count on Mitchell, 1 for 3 on the day. The 3-1 on the corner. Mitchell doesn't agree. Now the count runs back full. As here's Schulke's payoff. Chopped foul into the first base dugout.
Good protective swing right there by Mitchell to be able to keep his at-bat alive, understanding how important the leadoff man is right now for the Harbor Hawks.
Especially with Cam Smith on deck as the 3-2 is a little floater down the left field line. And did Keys make the play? He did not. And with nobody covering second, Nick Mitchell will advance to second. Very good awareness from Nick Mitchell. Just a little flare down the left field line. Keys got a glove to it. Really good play to stretch out from Keys at third, but he just couldn't hold on to it, and the awareness from Nick Mitchell to see that no one was covering second allows him to advance.
Yeah, and the ball kicked away from everybody down the left field line, almost allowing Mitchell to try for third. Took a wide turnaround second. Again, nobody covering it, so he could have done that. He could afford to do it. Ultimately stayed.
First pitch to Cam Smith outside. It's the guy you want upright here in Cam Smith in a runner in scoring position.
Hitting
York awaiting on deck.
440 in the last 20 games.
1-0 is slapped down the right field line, but foul.
0 for 3 today for Smith. So that hit streak is on the line right now.
Mitchell leads off second. So here's the 1-1 to Smith. It's on the ground right back to Schulke, but he bobbles it. He hustles hard, but Schulke recovers in time to make the play. Advancing to third on the play is Mitchell.
Now you have a runner in scoring position for Zach York, who's already sent one over the fence today, and he stands as the tying run in the box right now in the top of the 8th.
York, just a little flare over second, and the play is made by Haskins, the shortstop who ranged over to his glove side. So a fly ball, a deeper fly ball, no longer scores a run as Mitchell stays put at third.
And these are situations that you have to take advantage of if you're Hyannis. Again, you've brought up bases loaded with 1 out in the previous inning, and now runner at third with only 1 out.
Ike chops the first pitch foul.
Biggest thing is Hyannis needs to try and get through Cam Schulke because he's still out there, and they've had trouble with him all year long of seeing him. It's just trying to figure out and get him out of the ball game.
Comes over the top with that and just missed the slider low. Good pitch. Mitchell leads off third. The 1-1 to Ike, tapped at the screen. Now 1-2.
Now a 1-2 count. We'll see if he goes back to the slider.
The 1-2 lined right at Haskins, and Mitchell, after his leadoff double, is stranded. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, 5-3 to Cotuit.
That chip on the shoulder, that started at a very, very young age. People's expectations are they're cool, they're fun, but mine are bigger.
When you play in New York, they want to see winners. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday. You got to come with it, or those fans will let you know.
Pick one thing from me, pick one other thing from another player, make it your own, you turn to who you want to be.
What motivates me is the unknown. You know, how good can I be? You get away from the lights, you get away from the camera.
Mientras más presente yo esté en la caja de batería, más éxito tengo.
Man, how can you not keep it fun, man? This is a kid's game.
If you could go back and tell 10-year-old Francisco one thing, what would it be?
You're a bad mother.
Ethan Lanthier's strong day in relief is over. He turns the ball over and hands it to Joe Glassy.
Joe Glassy out of the University of Illinois in Lindenhurst, Illinois. Has appeared in one game so far. That was back on the 25th at Chatham. Went one inning. Walked one, struck out one through 4 batters faced. He looks to try and really close the door to the best of his ability. Just get the teams back into the batter's box for the top of the 9th and not allow them to tack on to their 2-run lead Cotuit possesses right now.
Yeah, he pumps a good fastball. He also has a curveball coming up. High 3/4 release above that 3/4 arm slot. A big, tall pitcher, 6'3", 220. Uses all that frame to get everything he has behind it. Sits in the low to mid-90s.
Also got a little flow coming out of the back of his hat as well.
So Hyannis with another chance. They had the bases loaded. And then a runner on second with nobody out, runner on third with 1 out last inning. And in those situations and those chances, they could only scratch 1 across.
And Lanthier on his ledger today, 2 2/3 innings, no runs, no hits, a walk and 3 strikeouts.
So Lanthier with a really good day in relief. Just holding Cotuit to where they're at. Now he hands the ball over to Glassy, who just needs to get 3 outs to send this back to the offense, who will try to score 2 runs in the top of the 9th.
I'll keep an eye on it. His last warm-up was 2100. I think it was
As Glassy in to face his first batter in Trevor Haskins, who takes the first pitch low.
92-mile-an-hour fastball in the outer part of the plate. Only his second appearance like we touched upon.
The 1-0 on the ground to short and through past a diving Gazdar for a base hit. Leadoff single for Haskins off the new pitcher Glassy.
Yeah, Glassy, a guy that's going to come at you with a lot of fastballs, 70% fastballs. Again, low to mid-90s, and that 91-mile-an-hour fastball was pulled perfectly to the left side.
That brings up Tobias. I'll check back at first on Haskins.
Shadows starting to creep in between the mound and home plate now.
Squares to bunt, and it's pushed up the third base line. Ike has one play. It's to first, And York, despite the high throw, holds on to first base and puts away out number 1. Sacrifice successful as Haskins moves on to second.
It's a nice play by Ike, who really had to come charging in hard to scoop it up and throw it across the infield.
So runner in scoring position for McCoy, who is 1 for 3 on the day. In this kind of game, Cotuit obviously thinking that one more run could really put the nail in the coffin, as here is the first pitch on the inside corner at 91 miles an hour for strike 1.
Now with the runner in scoring position, that run could be huge for Cotuit to try and close this one out.
0-1 fouled away, third base side. Glassy quickly ahead 0-2 on McCoy, with Haskins leading off of second. In these kinds of games, a 3-run lead could be all you need to defend, as here is the 0-2 from Glassy. Long hold and deals. Zipped it right by him, in on the hands with the fastball. As McCoy goes down swinging, there are 2 away.
Sixth strikeout for Hyannis today. Second out of the inning. Glassy with his first strikeout. Now just one more.
And that one more being Dylan Johnson, who has singled and walked today. First pitch is outside. 93, that's a bit of a top out there. Nice bit of velocity from Glassy despite the yank.
He's got a lot of spin on his fastball as well.
As here is Glassy's 1-0. Long set and deals upstairs. He's really reaching back for these.
Comes in at 92 on the outer part of the plate. Just trying to put him away with this fastball that we've talked about, that Mickey touched upon, has been his most dominant pitch right now.
There's a strike in the higher third of the zone. Now 2-1 on Johnson. As Haskins stands off second in scoring position here in a 5-3 Cotuit lead in the bottom of the 8th as the 2-1 misses outside. Now 3-1.
Whole host of fastballs to start him off here. Let's see if he'll try and break out that slider or changeup. Doesn't use them very often.
Here's the 3-1. Went straight back to it and just pumped it down the middle, challenging Dylan Johnson, who could not rise to the challenge, as now the count runs even and they've got a full count.
Big full count here for Glassy. Crowd knows it here as well with the clap erupting.
The payoff, swing and a miss as Glassy juices up on the outer part of the plate to get Johnson swinging and end the inning. Last licks for Hyannis. After this, Lipsy, Thompson, and Gazdar to start what needs to be a 2-run rally to tie this up. 3 runs to take the lead here at Cotuit. After 8, 5-3.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself. Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Retirement strategies come in all shapes and sizes. One strategy does not fit all when it comes to reaching your retirement goals. And considering all your options may be, well, more than you want to think about. So whether you're looking to retire or already living in retirement, you need a strategy tailor-made for you.
Fairway Financial can create a personal retirement strategy just for you, designed to take care of you and your loved ones. Call us today at 508-398-3337.
Cam Schulke back out for the top of the 9th, looking to finish off a wonderful 5 innings of relief. He's got Lipsy, Thompson, and Gazdar to face. We've seen a lot crazier things than a 2-run comeback in a 9th inning against Cotuit. This is where Hyannis somehow snaps it on. Cotuit snaps it off in these 9th innings of each and every game that we've seen so far.
Once again, this is going to come down to everything. We talk about having our cardiologist on speed dial, but Hyannis is going to need some late magic again to try and will themselves back into contention and try and fourth the bottom of the 9th.
Lipsy turns out of the way of the first pitch inside, almost thinking that in that situation you could even want Lipsy to wear that. Gets your leadoff guy on. Lipsy would rather earn it like that as opposed to just getting hit. 1-0 is on the ground to second. Harlan fields and throws to put away out number 1. Cotuit 2 outs away.
So that'll bring in Thompson, who today had a very nice at-bat, a walk here against Schulke back in the 7th.
Thompson found himself stranded on 3rd in that 7th inning, where Hyannis had the bases loaded and nobody out. Only scratched across 1 run. Schulke comes over the top on this one, dunks in the slider for strike 1.
Schulke's still out there now. This will be
0-1, just outside.
Doing the math. 40 plus 20, 60, 61 pitches.
Yeah.
The 1-1 to Thompson, way inside, 2-1.
You almost got a second start out of Schulke here today in relief of Gigliotti.
And with that arm angle, to get length out of a guy as funky as he is.
And now low, 3-1 to Thompson.
Is really big. And Thompson seems like one of the few Hyannis hitters that's been seeing him really well today.
Biggest thing right now is you got to try and find a way to get Schulke out of this game if you're Hyannis.
Here's the 3-1. On the ground just wide of 3rd. So Thompson will do it again with the count full now. The third base line full of Cotuit fans feeling it, as it'll be a full count coming to Thompson. The payoff fouled away. And the Hyannis contingent likes what they're seeing. And we'll do it again. Count still full on Bennett Thompson, the pinch hitter. The 3-2 chop foul again.
The third baseman, Keys, is guarding that line, playing just a step off of the bag, even with it.
If that's where Wareham, third baseman, Hot was last night, he might have saved that walk-off hit off of Bennett Thompson's bat, and that's where he was aiming again as he's fouled it off third base side once more.
Pitch number 8 of the at-bat on its way.
Another quality AB for Thompson, and now after seeing Thompson, they're going to move Wills.
And the payoff, there it is again. He walks out as the 3-2 goes low. He did the Tiger walk yet again. He knew that he worked himself yet another walk. So a one-out walk for Thompson, a confident one at that. He knew that Schulke had missed, and that brings up Gazdar.
It's almost his version of the Soto shuffle, except he shuffles down to first base.
The Soto saunter, if you will. So 1-on-1 away for Gazdar, who swings at the first pitch and fouls it off.
Like the aggressiveness.
And now with a runner on, every time someone enters this box, that's the tying run here in this contest.
Thompson leads off first. And the pitch to Gazdar is popped up foul just over our heads. I was ducking under the tent, didn't see where that went. But quickly 0-2 on John.
Kessler so far today, not a great day. It's 3 for 3, trying to extend that here. Biggest at-bat of his outing tonight.
The 0-2 over the top with the slider, but yanked well wide. Now 1-2 the count on Gazdar.
That's the disadvantage of changing your arm slot. Perhaps the consistency not quite there. Maybe lose your release point just a little bit.
The 1-2 to John upstairs. Now 2-2 on the Austin Peay shortstop.
Disciplined take there from Gazdar on a pitch that's away, but close enough to the zone that would maybe want you to go out and reach for it.
2-2, punch to second. Harlan for 1, Haskins for 2, and the ball game. Cotuit takes this installment of the Battle of Barnstable. They make sure that despite the Hyannis chances, they leave those runners stranded, and some timely ground balls. And just like that one by Cam Schulke were the name of the game today. What a start from Cam Schulke, and in a tight, edgy battle here for the Battle of Barnstable. Cotuit takes another.
Yeah, they did a great job tonight of getting that lead and never letting it down. And Cam Schulke, he comes in and has a great outing, going 5 innings for these Kettleers. Only 3 hits, only 1 earned run, and 2 strikeouts, and finishing it off there with a double play.
It's a big momentum shift, especially for these Cotuit Kettleers, and they can feel it. They know they have just been able to lock up a little bit with more certainty, minus any big blow up down the stretch. The 1 seed in the West Division.
Yeah, now 2.5 games up with not too much longer to go. Just 4 games left between these two teams, and 4 games to make up 2.5 seems pretty tough if you're Hyannis, but still a lot to play for.
And as Jacob Irons always says, beauty of college baseball on the Cape, you come right back out tomorrow to play another. So the 1-0 mindset must continue for Hyannis despite dropping this one here to Cotuit 5-3. A hard-fought battle. Hyannis had their chances. They just could not convert. Cam Schulke with a masterful performance, masterful 5 innings in relief of Jake Igliotti will get the win on the day, as Cotuit will move 5 points ahead of Hyannis in the West Division standings. That'll just about do it for us here from Lowell Park. For Jacob Irons, Mickey Doolittle, for our producers, Josh Schreiber and Nico Sharp, as well as the 4th member of our team, Bria Losick. My name is Michael Kirsting, saying so long from Lowell Park as Hyannis drops this one 5-3. They'll be back at McKeon tomorrow. We've got it all for you here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. See you tomorrow, everybody.
If you live here, fun is your thing. If you live here, tough is your thing. Smart is your thing. Caring is your thing. If you live in Massachusetts, community is your thing. Since 1972, the Massachusetts State Lottery has provided over $25 billion to help cities and towns with the things they need most. If you live here, giving is your thing.
My family earns respect.
My family clears bases.
My family breaks records. My family wins MVPs.
My family gives everything.
My family makes history.
My family wins championships.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family.
There's no family like my family.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
Join the fam.
When Alaska Airlines needed a partner for the complex operations of travel, they made the switch to T-Mobile. Our 5G has Alaska Airlines and their customers covered, from major hubs to remote destinations, with 5G coverage ready now for the demands of today and the future. T-Mobile's network powers Alaska Airlines as they deliver next-level care for all customers. 5G ready now. That's how unconventional thinking is better for business.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not gonna have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.